Hello, my friends. It's Miss Maria from Kennebunk Free Library. Today, I'm going to be sharing chapters 3 and 4 from the book we're reading, Annabelle the Drawing Fairy. It's part of the Magical Crafts Fairies series, which is part of Rainbow Magic. The Rainbow Magic books are written by Daisy Meadows and are published by Scholastic. So far, in chapters 1 and 2, we learned that Rachel and Kirsty, best friends, are spending some time on Rainspell Island. Rainspell Island is having a special Arts and Crafts Week, and Rachel and Kirsty can take all sorts of art classes and see other people's art as well. They also learned that it's Arts and Crafts Week in Fairyland as well, and they got to meet the magical crafts fairies. Right before kicking things off, Jack Frost, that pesky Jack Frost, came and stole the fairies' magical arts and crafts objects, including Annabelle's magic pencil sharpener. That means that people in Fairyland and on Earth won't be able to draw. Rachel and Kirsty are going to help Annabelle find her pencil sharpener and bring back drawing to Fairyland and Rainspell Island. They're taking a drawing class from Sarah Sketchley. And at the very end of chapter 2, Kirsty opened her backpack to find Annabelle waiting there for them. Let's see what adventures they get into today. An amazing artist. See how amazing is spelt with the word maze in the middle? Maybe that means there's a maze in this chapter. Chapter 3. Annabelle wore a pretty pastel shirt and cropped jeans. Her blonde hair was shining in the sunlight. Here's a picture of Annabelle. "Hello, Annabelle," whispered Rachel in excitement. "What are you doing here?" "I've come to ask you help me find my magic pencil sharpener," Annabelle said in a sweet voice. "Without it, drawings everywhere will be ruined." "Of course we'll help," said Kirsty. "Thank you," said Annabelle, ducking down into the bag again. "Look carefully at the roses growing all around you," Sarah Sketchley instructed the class. "I'm going to draw one first, and then I'd like you to give it a try." Sarah picked up a pencil and turned to the paper clipped on her easel. As soon as she pressed the pencil against the paper, the point broke. "Oops," said Sarah with a little laugh. "That happens sometimes." She picked up another pencil, but this one snapped in half. Sarah frowned and picked up a third pencil. "Start with delicate, light pencil strokes," she said. She drew a line on the paper, but it wasn't gentle or soft. It was a thick, angry slash that almost ripped right through. Sarah gasped. "I'm sorry, everyone," she said. "I don't know what's the matter with me today." Kirsty and Rachel exchanged a secret glance. They both knew that it must have something to do with the missing magic pencil sharpener. Here's a picture of Sarah trying to draw. She can't do it without that pencil sharpener. "I'm going to get a better pencil from inside," said Sarah. "Please start drawing your own lifelike sketches while you wait." Rachel and Kirsty felt sorry for Sarah. Jack Frost was ruining her art class, and they had no idea how to stop him. Rachel picked up a pencil, then put it down again. "I can't concentrate on drawing," she said. "Let's see how the others are doing." She stood up and walked around the grassy area, looking at the pictures the other kids were drawing. When she had seen 2 or 3, she waved Kirsty over. "Come and see these," she said in a low voice. Kirsty picked up her bag and followed Rachel. The other kids were drawing roses, but their pictures were all terrible. The roses looked ugly, with huge thorns and withered petals. "These look nothing like the real roses," said Kirsty. "They're all pretty bad." Here's the picture of the kids drawing. "I'll accept that one," said Rachel. She nodded at a boy in green overalls and a beret, who was drawing the nearby watermill. His picture was really good. It was so realistic that the girls felt like they could almost hear the stream gurgling. Annabelle peeked out of Kirsty's bag, and just then, the boy looked up from his sketch pad. Annabelle gasped, and Rachel grabbed Kirsty's hand. The boy had a long, green nose. "He's a goblin," said Kirsty, shocked. "I'll bet that's why he's drawing so well," said Annabelle. "He must have my magic pencil sharpener." The goblin glanced over at the girls, and his beady eyes spotted Annabelle right away. He jumped up and knocked his easel over as he darted toward the bridge. Here's a picture of him jumping up. "Catch him!" cried Annabelle. "We can't let him get away." Rachel and Kirsty ran after the goblin. He raced over the bridge and into the garden maze. The girls followed, their feet clattering on the little wooden bridge. But when they ran into the maze, the goblin was nowhere to be seen. High hedges surrounded them. The girls reached an intersection and stopped. "Which way?" asked Kirsty, glancing left and right. "Quick, Annabelle, can you change us into fairies?" Rachel asked. "If we fly above the hedges, we can spot the goblin." Annabelle fluttered out of the bag and waved her wand. Instantly, the girls felt a tingling in their shoulders, and wings appeared as they shrank to fairy size. The mage hedges seemed 20 times bigger, but Annabelle, Rachel, and Kirsty zoomed into the air and hovered above them. Here's the picture of them zooming into the air. "I see him," cried Annabelle. "He's over there." "No, this way," said Rachel, pointing in the opposite direction. Kirsty looked down and groaned. "Oh no, there are 4 goblins in the maze," she exclaimed. That's the end of chapter 3. Chapter 4 is called Litterbugs. See the goblins? Let's see what happens. As the girls watched, the goblins all met up at the far side of the maze. One of them was tearing pages out of a sketchbook. He crumpled them up and tossed them at the other goblins, who squawked with laughter and threw them everywhere. Balls of paper piled up on the ground and even on top of the hedges. "How dare they!" Rachel burst out. She zoomed down and hovered in front of the goblins, frowning. "Stop," she demanded. "You're wasting paper and you're making a huge mess in the maze." "Oh, be quiet, silly fairy," cried the goblin with the sketch pad. "Mind your own business." "This is our business," said Kirsty, flying down to hover beside her best friend. "You're being litterbugs, and it's everyone's job to keep things clean." A tall goblin danced around with his fingers in his ears. I can hear you, he squawked in a sing-song voice. I can hear you. Just then, Kirsty saw a small, plump goblin throw something the size of a pencil sharpener into the air. Could it be Annabelle's magic object? She swooped down quickly and caught it in her outstretched hand. Is it my pencil sharpener? Asked Annabelle hopefully, darting to join Kirsty. No, said Kirsty with a sigh. She held out her hand and showed Annabelle an ordinary pink eraser. There's the goblin and Kirsty and Annabelle. I don't think these goblins have the magic pencil sharpener, said Rachel. They're just messing around and causing trouble. You're right, said Kirsty. If they did have it, they'd be using its magic to draw beautiful pictures, like the first goblin we saw. We have to keep looking, said Rachel. He's somewhere in this maze. Let's spread out, suggested Annabelle. If we fly low over the hedges, we'll find him eventually. The three fairies fluttered above the maze, peering down among the green hedges. It was hard to see because the bright sunshine made some dark shadows. But finally, Rachel spotted another goblin in the very center of the maze. He was sitting on a stone in a rock garden, drawing a picture of a nearby garden gnome. There's the goblin drawing the picture. Rachel waved to Kirsty and Annabelle. It's him, she said as they darted over to her. Look, I think he's drawing again. He must have the magic pencil sharpener. But where is it? Asked Kirsty. And how can we get it back from him? Added Annabelle. They all thought hard. And then Kirsty's eyes sparkled. I have an idea, she said. But if this is going to work, Rachel and I will need to be human size again. They all flew down and landed on the ground in the shadow of a hedge. Then Annabelle tapped the girls with her wand, and they were transformed into humans again. Here's the picture of Annabelle's fairy magic. Rachel looked at Kirsty with an excited and hopeful smile. What's the plan? She asked. I think we should try to get the goblin to draw pictures of us, said Kirsty. If we can get close to him, we might have a chance to grab Annabelle's magic pencil sharpener. Annabelle clapped her hands with glee, and Rachel gave her best friend a smile. That's a really good idea, Kirsty, she said. Goblins are so vain about their abilities. We might be able to distract him for long enough to find the pencil sharpener. Annabelle flew into Rachel's pocket and scooted down out of sight. Then Rachel and Kirsty linked arms and walked around the corner into the middle of the maze. We found it, said Rachel in a loud voice. The center of the maze. Oh, look, someone else got here before us. There they are, meeting the goblin in the middle of the maze. The goblin glanced up and spotted them standing there. It's that wonderful artist we saw earlier, said Kirsty cheerfully, making sure the goblin could hear her. Let's go see what he's drawing now. They walked over to the goblin, who had almost finished his picture of the gnome. But he jumped up and stood in front of his easel, his arms folded across his chest. Go away, he snapped. I don't speak to friends of that pesky fairy. What do you mean? Said Rachel with a laugh. How could we be friends with a fairy when there's no such thing? Kirsty laughed too and leaned forward to look at the drawing. You're a really good artist, she said. That gnome looks so lifelike. I bet you can draw people really well too. The goblin gave a smug little smile. I'm the best artist you've ever met, he said. I'm even better than that Sarah Sketchley. Can you draw us? Kirsty asked. Oh, that would be wonderful, Rachel exclaimed, clapping her hands. Please say yes. And that's the end of chapter 4. Here's the goblin with Rachel and Kirsty. Do you think he'll draw their picture? I can't wait to find out. I hope you're enjoying the story. Thanks for sharing it with me. I'll be back on Friday and post another video so we can hear the end of the book. I can't wait to see how it ends. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.